Shout out to Tim Pool. Tim Pool did a breakdown of She Who Shall Not Be Named, Candace Owens. She kind of reminds me of Tiffany Henry in a way. Anyway, Candace Owens. He had some really interesting takes yesterday on this, and I thought I'd bring it in. I thought it'd be good for us to have a conversation about this. So let's bring Tim up in here. Tim, get up in here. Let's go, brother. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Candace Owens has now called for the acquittal of Tyler Robinson, which I'm pretty sure she did already before, but now everyone's going after her because she made a thumbnail that said, if the bullet does not fit, you must acquit. The story, of course, is that a court filing from the defense says that the ATF was unable to identify the bullet to the rifle. Now, of course, this is due to the fact that it was a bullet jacket fragment and they did not have a complete bullet. Still an incredible stance for the defense. It's the appropriate move, and I commend them. That's exactly what they should be saying. Because even though we understand it is impossible to match because the bullet was destroyed or largely damaged, it's still great for the defense to say, we have doubts. They could not confirm this bullet came from this gun. And that being said, Candace Owens has argued that Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin is a patsy. Here's the thing, guys. She's also said the number 33 is everywhere, which proves it. And that's called, I think it's called Apophenia. And it's a symptom of schizophrenia. I'm not being mean. Listen, the woman said that the shooting Tim Pool survived was committed by his brother. That is insane. First of all, I never said I survived the shooting. I've never been present at this building when a shooting occurred. Never said any of those things. But this woman goes on her show and just makes things up. Holy crap, remember when she thought UTC meant Utah time? Remember when she got hoaxed into publishing the address of her own lawyers? And it turns out they are in a federal building? What? Holy crap. Laura Loomer says she is completely insane. Now listen, stop.
That's saying a lot. When Laura Loomer is saying you're insane, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. You're in trouble when Laura Loomer is calling you out. Let's go.
Right to question the official narrative of the Charlie Kirk assassination? Well, I say how? Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of questions. They were individuals that appeared to have foreknowledge of this moment. And I say, yeah, that's suspicious. And it indicates there's more than one person involved. And when the feds are like, nah, we don't, it was just this one guy and he got turned, whatever. No. There are reports of weird vehicles in front of his house. Okay. People posted on social media saying, wait till you see what happens tomorrow to Charlie Kirk and things like that, indicating foreknowledge. Now, at the bare minimum, we could argue that whoever did kill Charlie Kirk, assuming it is Tyler Robinson, the suspect, maybe he told people. The messages between Robinson and his lover seem really strange and fabricated. And I'm going to go ahead and say they seem fabricated. But guys, what is the simple solution here? By all means, you are allowed to speculate. The evidence was fabricated by the government. Perhaps. I'd put it at low probability, and I'd argue this. My perspective, my opinions on what went down here. Robinson was an aggrieved leftist. Charlie Kirk is what got Donald Trump the victory. These people have threatened him with death already. So 1 + 1 = 2, right? Well, what's up with these weird messages? I'll put it like this. I don't think Tyler Robinson acted alone. I think he had assistance. It explains a lot how people knew the vehicles in front of his house. Just two big stories, Discord chats talking about it. But what about these strange messages that people say are fabricated? I'd argue, yeah, they look really fake. The message between Tyler Robinson and his lover, where his lover's like, oh no, heavens me, you didn't really do this, did you? Yes, it looks like, in my opinion, Tyler Robinson and his lover, who fled, by the way, I think now may have returned or they know where he is, fabricated those messages intentionally to create doubt. The idea is this. Tyler Robinson and his boyfriend colluded, along with other people, a plan to kill Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk is why Donald Trump won, mostly. And so they said, how do we avoid prosecution? If you're going to take the fall for this, if you get caught, how do we make sure none of us do? Well, again, the theory, I don't know if it's true, is that Robinson then intentionally messages, oh, I've done it all by myself and you weren't involved. That way, if it ever goes to trial, the other individuals involved could say, no, look at our messages. This proves we didn't do it. That's why they look weird, because the conspiracy between the two actors is that they crafted messages to create reasonable doubt. Not that the FBI fabricated messages, because they don't need to do that. Nick Fuentes chimed in on the Candace Owens stuff saying, oh, right, guys, the Illuminati planted the wrong gun. And he nailed it. He nailed it. Like, what? Here am I. We get along with Nick Fuentes. We had him on the show. Don't agree with a lot of his opinions. But in this regard, he is correct. Guys, you really think the Illuminati planted the wrong gun? It is so silly and laughably absurd. But what really nails this one for me is the number 33. Oh, Candace says the number 33 is everywhere. Guys, if you're following this, I have no respect for you. I'm sorry. No. Hold on. Let me pause. Take that back. Absolutely follow this. Pay attention. All of that was always allowed. But if you genuinely believe the number 33 is everywhere, you've lost your mind, okay? It's a symptom of schizophrenia. But you know what? It's entertaining. Check this out. Primetimer says she is completely insane. Laura Loomer slams Candace Owens for calling for Charlie Kirk's murder suspect Tyler Robinson to be acquitted. Owens reacted. Okay, here we go. Candace Owens has questioned the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination that happened. We know this. She's been doing it nonstop. To this, Owens wrote, where are all my neocons who have been overwhelmed by the non-existent evidence against Tyler Robinson? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Hope the money was worth your soul. Candace Owens also posted a video on our YouTube channel, to the title of which, Prove Me Wrong, Tyler Robinson is a patsy. She had been repeatedly suggesting that Tyler wasn't the only one who could be held responsible for Charlie's death. Meanwhile, Laura Loomer chimed in saying, Candace Owens is now calling for Tyler Robinson, the man who killed Charlie Kirk, to be acquitted. She is completely insane, and she truly wants to see Charlie's killer walk free because he chose Erica over her. It's pure evil. Guys, she did post this. If the gun doesn't fit, you must acquit. Oh, smug face. Well, as we actually know, the analysis was inconclusive, okay? What this means is the ATF said, we have a bullet fragment recovered. Can we match it to the gun? No, it's damaged. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. The defense, it's a great play for them, as I already stated, because the idea is they're going to go and say, if you can't even link the bullet to the gun, how can you claim he did it? And then, of course, other evidence will be presented, like, there he is, running across the roof. Now, to be fair, you see a guy on the roof. How do we really know it's him? These are all going to be big challenges for the prosecution. And I believe, if anything, what's currently going on is that Candace Owens is sowing doubt, and intentionally, I guess. Here's my conspiracy theory. Candace Owens is deep state. That's why YouTube props her up, and she gets massive millions of views despite breaking the rules.
Okay, you got to stop and listen to this. I got to back this up a little bit, because a lot of people have been asking, why does Candace get away with the stuff that she gets away with? And I want to give them a running start again. Just check this out. And again, I hate that. I think Tim is right on the money as it relates to her trying to create doubt. But just listen to his thought and, work with it as you see fit.
And I believe, if anything, what's currently going on is that Candace Owens is sowing doubt, and intentionally, I guess. Here's my conspiracy theory. Candace Owens is deep state. That's why YouTube props her up, and she gets massive millions of views despite breaking the rules. YouTube has explicit rules against conspiracy, things that go against authoritative sources. 100%. Alex Jones is banned. Nick Fuentes is banned, but she's allowed. Yeah, I don't buy it. And so, if Robinson is a patsy, Candace Owens is the deep state plant in media that is being propped up to make sure the patsy is acquitted. They needed someone to be the principal suspect, but they don't really want him to go to prison. I'm kidding, by the way. I don't really believe that. I'm just saying, if you want to make up theories and hypotheses, we can go all the way down to Candace Owens' lawyers work in a building with feds. Gee, that's weird. Candace Owens' lawyers work in the same building with a bunch of federal agents, actually. Isn't that weird? That's weird. Just think it's weird. That's just me. Here we go. Candace Owens has claimed the feds are dirty in the investigation related to Charlie Kirk's death. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Yeah, maybe. Seriously, I mean, it's not like we're saying a portal to hell opened up and a demon came out and chucked a fireball at Charlie, which most people might assume is possible, but I don't think is the case. No, it just is possible that there are other interests that may have taken the life of Charlie Kirk. We don't know. I want to see the evidence. I think it'll be very important. Charlie's real killer. Candace Owens challenges official narrative, says Tyler Robinson is not Charlie Kirk's killer. Heavens me. Here we have Cam Higbee saying, what's more likely? She doesn't know anything about guns. She doesn't know how to read. Well, ¿por qué no los dos? You know, why not the both? Could be possible. I actually think Candace Owens is a genius. I think she's incredibly intelligent. I have met her. She is very smart, very capable, and she knows how to game systems. People do not accidentally get into these positions of power. Ian was saying on IRL a couple days ago, he was like, I'm smarter than everyone in Congress. And then I was like, everyone was okay, maybe not Thomas Massey. I'm like, bro, you are not smarter than anyone in Congress. And I mean it. AOC is not stupid. The people who want to rag, listen, I'm gonna quote the Harry Potter movies when Snape goes, Dumbledore's a great wizard, and then, what's her face? Helena Bonham Carter's character is like, and he goes, he is a great wizard, and only a fool would say otherwise. The point is, acknowledging the intelligence and capabilities of people you may not like is not, it's the appropriate thing to do.
So here's a question I have, serious question. Let's just go with Tim's premise that Candace is actually brilliant, that she's actually, like, all of this is a ruse. That would mean, yes, the video about her mispronouncing words could very well be fake. She's doing that intentionally and on purpose. Okay. But let's just say that she is smarter than we give her credit for. How do you now address her and approach her and deal with her, since you don't subscribe to the idea that she's crazy and retarded, but that she might actually be really smart and really gaming the system? How do you address her? How do you approach her? How do you move now? Because you're no longer treating her like she's an imbecile, but rather that she's probably even smarter than you. How do you deal with her? How do you approach her? How do you address her claims and all that kind of stuff like that? Now, I don't believe that to be true. I do think that she's probably more ridiculous than anything else. But I do think there is a level of probably a little bit of skit, a little bit of a bit going on some. But how do you move now? Her ad reading plus subscription costs plus what? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, talking about money. Okay. Okay, you think she's a crazy imbecile? I don't disagree, but I'm just saying, what if she isn't? What if she isn't? I would believe that if not for videos of the past showing her mispronouncing words, I'm not. Now, I've said this before. I think that she was always a leftist and she's been cosplaying for 10 years. So she's been faking the funk for 10 years. Her mispronouncing words, it seems about on brand. She may not be super intelligent. I'm definitely not saying that, but she's obviously very cunning and conniving. There we go. So how do you move now, Snow Bunny Empress, knowing that you're dealing with somebody who's cunning and conniving and might very well be 2 steps ahead of you? What do you do? She knows how to manipulate, no question, no doubt. And again, if you just go back and watch Tim Pool's video where he talks about the Nigerian prince scam, and you lay it alongside this one right here, and you're like, well, maybe she was trying to vet her audience because she knows that smart people are not going to follow her, but crazy people could. So she uses the Nigerian, again, I think it was on the money, that Nigerian prince scam to vet people out of her cult. So the only people in her cult are people who are dumb enough to follow her. And they're going to follow her into oblivion. And now, what are those people doing? They're saying that the bullet doesn't fit. So literally, I'm reading on X, people saying that Tyler Robinson should be freed because the bullet doesn't match, or they can't make the bullet match. Like, that's crazy work. So nothing else matters except that the bullet doesn't match. So he should be freed. That's crazy work. But that's her fans, though. Those are the same people that fall for the Nigerian prince scam. So I'm just wondering, like, is it, what do you do now that if you consider her to be smarter than she's been putting off? Fair enough. Okay. Let's see. Her numbers began to fall not long after Iran went into chaos. That's true. That is a very true statement. And I do believe that, her support base is primarily offshore and probably primarily coming from Qatar, Iran area. I can dig that. Absolutely. Okay. I truly believe she is suffering with MH. What's MH? Issues. Oh, mental health issues due to the pregnancies being so close and not giving her body and mind time to process the hormones. Going untreated makes it worse. I can rock with that, Melinda. There's a lot of things here. There are a lot of options, and I don't think any of them can be officially removed off the table. I don't think any of them can without some more investigation. So, all right, let's finish up with Tim, because Tim had a lot to say here.
If you, like, these people come on, they go, Donald Trump is so stupid. No, he's a billionaire. He turned $1 million into $7 billion. Come on, spare me. You couldn't do that. You'd burn that money to be gone in 6 months. Elon Musk is so dumb. He's got $2 trillion companies. What are you talking about? He's about to be a trillionaire. The man is not stupid. Members of Congress have gamed this system and figured it out. They know how to get positions of power. I got a giant fly in here. So I'm not going to call them stupid. I'm not saying the smartest people in the world. The point is this: Candace is not dumb. She does not accidentally get to this point. She knows how to cast a net over the masses to manipulate them, and it works. Well, it may also just be that she is of average intelligence, but willing to do untoward things. Guys, she may be schizophrenic. That's also a possibility. She can be a high-functioning schizoid. And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but listen to this. Candace Owens flags repeated 33 references in Charlie Kirk murder, calls it cult involvement and deeper story. When you start seeing numbers all over the place and you become fervent and pointing out that the numbers, it's the number. This is called apophenia. It is a symptom of schizophrenia. Now, in some instances, it's not that big a deal. It could be a reference to you buy the Honda Civic, and then all of a sudden you start noticing Honda Civics. That's not really a big deal. That's just because something has entered your mind. But when you get to the point where you're saying 33 is everywhere and it proves the Masons, that's when you're getting to paranoid delusional schizophrenia, meaning you can't differentiate fiction from reality. Let me show you something, guys. Let me show you something from this. Let me see if I think right here. Listen to this. Listen to this.
I would willfully sit on the defense side and say, this person told me that the feds planted the gun. This person
hearsay
told me that the bomb dogs couldn't find it.
Hearsay, not admissible.
How can you sit back and pretend that you are like a friend of Charlie Kirk because you're trying to get a patsy put into prison? Like, you guys are completely monstrous and pretending that you're on the side of morality. There was an overwhelming amount of evidence that the feds set this kid up as a patsy. Okay? Everyone in the town, all the local sheriff departments, the SWAT team, they believe that the feds came in and they started lying and they were sending people on wild goose chase, and they, said the gun was here and they said it was over there. There was no gun. They didn't want the bomb dogs to go into certain places. Like I said, I am not getting this information from people that do not have the credibility to assert that. That's how I got the pictures inside of the car. Okay, I'm speaking to people with firsthand intimate knowledge, and they
just like firsthand intimate knowledge when they claimed that Egyptian planes were driving to and from a building that housed your own lawyers, and you ran the story where your lawyers work with the feds. Candace, why do your lawyers work in the same building as federal agents?
Why?
Is the story that it's just an office building and the feds have an office in there? That's weird. Actually, I don't think that's normal. I have lawyers. They don't work in a building with federal agents. I have actually many lawyers. They don't work in buildings with federal agents, but that's just me. To be fair, I mean, it could just be a coincidence. Feds might rent an office room, I guess, and then drive black SUVs into the same building as your lawyers, which no one's noticed and you didn't notice and you haven't yet investigated. Curious. Are these the people in the know? Now, I'll give her some respect. She does have some photos, and it is believed that Joe Kent leaked to her, though he denies it. There are certainly people in the know that are sending her these things. But now the number 33, occult magic kingdom. The number 33 is everywhere. Oh, yeah, really? The number 33. What about the number 23? Remember that
was a
one, the
crazy
number
movie.
23, which is literally about Apophenia, where Jim Carrey goes psychotic because he keeps seeing the number 23 everywhere, and it's meaningless. Heavens me. Apophenia can be considered a commonplace effect of brain function. Taken to an extreme, however, can be a symptom of psychiatric dysfunction. For example, is a symptom of paranoid schizophrenia, where a patient sees hostile patterns in ordinary actions. Apophenia is also typical of conspiracy theories where coincidences may be woven together into an apparent plot.
Yeah.
Now, let me just take it back to Earth. Is it possible a foreign nexus conspired to kill Charlie Kirk? Yes, of course it is. Just don't know. And is it possible the FBI covers this up? Indeed. Why would they do it? A variety of reasons. To prevent an international incidents, to prevent war that we're not prepared for. You know, if it turned out that a country, be it Qatar, Israel, Iran, I don't know, whoever you want to accuse, they're accusing Israel, it would be very, very bad for our government, right? So they might cover it up. But does the evidence we have so far prove any of that? No. That's it. No. And you can question the evidence against Tyler Robinson. That was always allowed. And he may get acquitted, indeed. But it doesn't prove we know what else happened. That's it. You know, I am I as an individual, I don't just blindly believe whatever the news or the police tell me. It's why I never got the COVID vaccine. Whatever. Hey, talk to your doctor. Don't take advice from me. No, actually, that's not true. I talked to my doctor. They told me not to get it, but that's a whole other story. My point is this. Just because I don't trust the government doesn't mean I'm going to come out and say 33 is everywhere. Look at this. They're in the cult that a hit was done by a cult and for the cult. Remarkable. Do you actually believe this stuff? Man, let me tell you this. I know a lot of ladies, and they love Candace. And all I'm going to do is point them to this. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, like 33. That's called paranoid schizophrenia. I'm sorry. Now, doesn't mean she's wrong about everything. I certainly do believe people are leaking things to her.
Sadly, I believe
okay.
that.
But come on, guys. Come on. Go watch the number 23 where Jim Carrey starts seeing the number 23 everywhere. And they're like, dude, it's just that the numbers are everywhere.
That is a crazy movie.
You can see numbers. And if you're looking for a specific number, you'll see it everywhere. It's everywhere. It's 77 degrees right now. Oh, 77. 77's everywhere. No, it's just so dumb. But you know what, man? People like the mystery. And I will say this. I remember when Alex Jones was massive on YouTube. And I knew a lot of people who watched, and they said, I think he's crazy, but it's fun to watch. Fair point. That's why they banned him. I was in Sweden, and I heard these three young guys laughing, and then I heard Alex Jones, and they were watching the video on their phone of Alex Jones ripping his shirt off and going, ah, and like, here I am in Sweden back in 2017, and people are watching this stuff. I think it was 2017. It's entertaining. You know, my boy Robbie, shout out Robbie, he tells me, he's like, well, I don't believe everything she says, but it's really entertaining to watch. It's like a whodunit, like what's going to happen next? You know, you got to see the next episode. And I'm like, indeed. And she's making people threaten Erica Kirk with death. It's psychotic. Well, hey, man, you believe whatever you want to believe. Who am I? I'm just a guy on the internet complaining, and I don't even know what's going to be proven in court or not. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We'll wrap it up there. Have fun. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you've ever met in your life. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next segment.
Shout out to Temple. I just thought that was super interesting. I wanted to give you a chance to check that out. The link for that is going to be down in the description as well. So you can definitely peep it out and get your 2 cents in there and all that kind of good jazz. But let me know what y'all think about it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.